Hey man, Thursday night football, it's going to be a tremendous game tonight. I tell you what, Mike McDaniel, Sean McDermott, the battle of the Mick guys. Come on, man. Take a look what's going on here. Look at this. I have no idea what I've written up there, but I tell you what, at the time I wrote it down, probably some of the most important stuff. That's why.
Stop, man.
What?
Stop doing this.
What?
I put a lot of time into this, man. Come on, don't mess up my board.
None of it was spent on penmanship.
Go to the freaking bathroom or something, man. This is just awful. Okay, Thursday night football, the Miami Dolphins 0-2 at the Buffalo Bills. What a rivalry. Get fired up about it. Remember Jim Kelly and Dan Marino going head to head? We got Josh Allen and we got our friend Tua. Thursday night. Let's get into this one. This Top of Mind is brought to you by Chevrolet. Football season is here, and whether you're grinding through the week or gearing up for kickoff, there's one ride that's always game ready. Chevy Silverado. Built for the hustle, ready for the game. Silverado is America's most dependable full-size truck. Head to Chevy.com to learn more and build your own Chevy Silverado. Okay, Thursday night football, we have the Buffalo Bills 2-0 under head coach Sean McDermott playing at home against the 0-2 Miami Dolphins led by their head coach Mike McDaniel. And this sounds like a lopsided, bad matchup, but this is a rivalry, man. These two teams are in the same division, and they're locking heads on national television. It should bring out the best in everybody. The Buffalo Bills are 2-0, and they're 12.5-point favorites. I've seen it at 11. I've seen it at 13. They're double-digit favorites, man. They should win the game, blah, blah, blah. But we got to play the game, you see? So let's get into the game and treat it like it's the biggest game of the year because it's the only game. You guys like that, don't you, Jake? Yeah. All right? McDermott's done a hell of a job. The Bills are the class of the AFC East. Not only are they 2-0, they beat the Baltimore Ravens when they were down by 15 points with 5 minutes left. Hell, I don't know if that's ever even been done. They also went to the New York Jets last week and just pounded them with an old school underneath the center, slam it down your throat offense. It was awesome. They're 2-0, and they feel pretty good about themselves. The Miami Dolphins are a well-documented 0-2. Ugly loss to start the season, 33-8 with the Colts. And then they got beat last week at home by the New England Patriots. Mike McDaniel's team is 0-2. He's 1-6 all-time against the Buffalo Bills. They have not started 0-3 in Miami since 2019. That was the year they started off 0-7. So the Dolphins need to end this snide, man. Coach McDaniel's Dolphins are just 3-10 in primetime games. And they don't seem to like Thursday night football. They've lost 3 straight on Thursday night, and they've lost 8 out of their last 9 on Thursday night. Doesn't it sound like it's getting darker and damper and uglier by the second, Clay? Doesn't it? It does. But this game is exactly what Miami needs. You're 0-2. You feel like crap. It's a short week. You fly to Buffalo. It's going to be nice and cool. There's no sweaty, stinky uniforms on your sideline. It's a fast track. You're playing at Buffalo. And the Buffalo Bills are your freaking nightmare, man. They beat you 13 out of 14 times. Buffalo's won 6 straight. So you get off the plane, you go to your hotel, you wake up, you go to the stadium, and you got no chance. You got no chance. That's what everybody's saying. But I think the Dolphins need to become a nightmare. Rally together and find a way to physically go get this game on the road. Every man up now. Turn it up 7 notches, and let's execute at a high level. Am I getting you fired up, Jake? Oh, yeah. Because if you're not ready to play, Miami, you will get your ass kicked in front of everybody. Because the Buffalo Bills, man, they're 25-6 in the last 31 games against the AFC East. Sean McDermott is 15-2 against Buffalo. Hear that noise? That's Buffalo licking their chops, man. I hear it. I mean, you got to think about this. You got to get into it. It's another Thursday night game early in the season. Don't I like Thursday night football, Jake? No. No, I don't. But I want you to think about what's being said in the locker room before this game. During this week of preparation, let me say this. The first 2 regular season games for everybody in the league, you don't know what's coming out of the box. You got new coaches, new players, guys haven't played that are playing a lot. You don't really know how everybody's going to perform together for 60 minutes. So that's the first 2 weeks. You combine that with a very short week with no preparation on a Thursday night, it becomes an ATG game, Jake. Anything goes. You like that? Yeah. Anything goes. So I know what Coach McDermott is saying. Why are we bitching about it? Don't bitch about it like Gruden does all the time. We love the misery. That's the mentality you got to have on a short week early in the year. We're all sore. We're all miserable. Yes, Clay? Yeah. Love the misery. Hey, adversity's our best friend. So you have to have this mentality of being a badass pro to play in this game. Miami, you think their feelings are hurt? Yes or no? Yep. Well, what are you going to do about it? You think the Bills' bodies aren't sore after playing 2 physical games in freaking 4 days? Hell yeah. Everybody's miserable, so let's get over it. Sorry for rambling. You know, I remember I was seeing the other day that the Raiders, before their game in New England, Pete Carroll broke a grease board to fire up his team. So there you go. Let's go, Miami. Let's get fired up. We got to eliminate the freaking errors if you're the Dolphins. It's that simple. They start games in a horrific fashion. The Dolphins got hit in the head. Tua got hit in the back with a nickel blitz. They have a blown protection on another play in the first 10 snaps against Indianapolis. And then they come out against New England and they jump off sides on a 2-point play. How the hell does that happen? Then they jump off sides in a 2-minute drill. And then late in the game, they don't have the number of players they need on the field. They got to take a timeout. And then, hell's bells. The game's over and you're all ticked. You got to eliminate the errors, yes? Yes. Okay. Buffalo, on the other hand, had a 41-40 win against the Ravens, and obviously they dissected the Jets on the road. But the errors in Miami must clean up. The Bills have won 12 straight home games. That's the longest streak in the NFL. Last year, Miami played Buffalo twice, and Buffalo won both games. One of those wins early in the season was in Miami. Buffalo wins 31-10. That was the game that Tua threw 3 interceptions and got knocked out of the game with the concussion. Josh Allen hit 13 out of 19, only 139 yards, and James Cook ran for 2, caught another one. Buffalo rolled. But in week 9, everybody was saying the same thing. Miami's got to go to Buffalo. They're going to get their ass kicked, right, Jake? Right. Not so fast. They go to Buffalo, and they go wire to wire with the Bills. It takes Tyler Bass's 61-yard field goal with 5 seconds left to win this game 30-27. Matter of fact, Tua played great. He took Miami right down the field, took the lead on Buffalo, and everybody in football was saying, wow, Miami's going to win this game. You better go back to that film. And I know Coach McDermott is doing that all week. Miami's dangerous. They got enough good players to get something done. There were several lead changes. Both quarterbacks went after each other and played very, very well. Buffalo, you're on a short week. You're at home. Buffalo is going to play with great effort. That's what they do. They're going to showcase their mental toughness, and their mindset is to bury Miami. Bury their ass. Get them out of here, and freaking A, get on with the season. But the Dolphins, they're sitting there and they're saying, you know what? Enough of this shit. We're going to be their nightmare, man, in front of Malisak and Myers and Gruden. We're going to show these 3 guys. We're going to restart our season. And what did Tom Brady say when he walked out of the locker room every game? Let's fucking go! That's what they need to do. Sorry for screaming. God, I'm fired up for this game. Woo! I'm going to break another grease board. The quarterback battle, think back to this series. We had Jim Kelly and Dan Marino, class of '83, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Man, when I was a kid, I'd stay up and watch these games until they were over. Jim Kelly went 14-7, including 3 wins in the playoffs against Dan Marino. And every time they beat the Dolphins, you always felt like Marino was going to bring them back. Boy, it was awesome. That's the kind of quarterback battle we had. But the battle we have now is Josh Allen against our friend Tua. And in 9 games, Josh Allen has won 8, Tua's won 1. Josh Allen, 263 yards passing, Tua 203. 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions for Josh Allen, 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions for Tua. And the Bills are averaging 33 points a game, the Dolphins 18. So it's Tua time, the way I see it. They got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, they got Achane, they got firepower. They got to address this in Miami. Otherwise, they're not going to go very far in terms of winning a Super Bowl. Josh Allen, perhaps the greatest combination of mental and physical toughness in football. You know, when you're down 15 points with 5 minutes left, sometimes you look on the sidelines and you see the guys going, let's get the hell out of here. Josh Allen carried this team. He did something against Baltimore I've never seen done. He had over 250 yards passing, and he ran for 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. No one's done that in one quarter since 1978. I checked. I got this new thing called AI, you know, so I looked it up. You think I come up with this shit? No. But Josh Allen gets hit in the face by Michael Clemens last week against the Jets. They break his nose, man. If they broke my nose, I'd be out of here. I'd be gone, man. I'd be freaking at the hospital. He comes back in and he kicks the Jets' ass. This guy's mentally and physically tough, and I love him. And now when you watch Tua, there's a lot to like about this guy's talent, but he's perplexing. It's the only 3-syllable word I could use today to explain him. I mean, how many guys can go 26 for 32 for 315 yards and 2 touchdowns against New England, and you don't even feel good about his performance? Because of the false starts, a missed throw here, an interception there. His late game performance has to improve. But there's a lot to like, but it's perplexing. Does that make sense to you, Jake? I know you're from Virginia. We have to take a look at his production in the last 5 minutes of every game when they're tied or behind. Do a good study on all your quarterbacks. That's what I do with all these college kids coming out. Show me their tape where they're tied or behind inside of 5 minutes. His performance there and the Dolphins' performance there has to improve. Wasn't good enough last week against the Patriots. 2 exciting running backs in this game. You know how I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I love Derrick Henry. Love Saquon Barkley. There's several backs that are a cut above. But if you don't like James Cook and you don't like Devon Achane, you probably don't like football. These guys are magnificent. They can run it. They can catch it. They're tough as hell, and they can create plays when there is nothing there. I love it. A couple other big things to keep an eye on is the turnover battle. We used to show graphics to our players every week. A lot of times we'd show it every day. The turnover battle is the most important statistic in football. And everybody at home, all the players would sit there and go, yeah, that's right, all right? And the Buffalo Bills have won the turnover battle 24 straight games, man. That's an NFL record. No one's ever done that. They take care of the ball. Matter of fact, in 2024, they almost broke an NFL record for the fewest amount of turnovers ever. That's saying something. That's professional players taking care of the ball. That's professional coaches emphasizing taking care of the ball, and it really is the Bills' winning edge. This year, they haven't turned it over in 2 games. They've taken it away twice. They're still in the top 5 of winning a turnover battle. Miami, however, no takeaways, 4 turnovers, and that has contributed to their 0-2 demise. So keep an eye on that. Miami, if you're hearing me, you got to get a turnover. We got to get Minkah Fitzpatrick around the pile. Kapow! Get the ball out of there, man. We got to get a strip sack. Something's got to happen. We got to get some turnovers to have a chance to win this game. If you're Buffalo, keep an eye on Malik Washington. He's number 6 of the Miami Dolphins. Did you see that punt return last week? I can't make those noises. Kind of like Chris Berman. Whoop, whoop, whoop. He was gone, man. You better keep an eye on him. Be very careful. Buffalo has a brand new punter, and if you give this guy too good of a look, it could be a problem. The injuries in this game are significant for the Miami Dolphins. I mean, listen, they got a lot of guys hurt. They had a lot of guys hurt before the season started. They're going to be missing Benito Jones, a big run defender, and that's a big problem against this Bills offense. They're also missing almost their entire cornerback group on defense. I mean, hell, Before the season started, they lost Kohu, their starting nickel corner, number 4. He's out for the year. They also lost Artie Burns, starting corner, out for the year. That's 2 starters. Now they're missing Storm Duck, who was an opening day starter. He's got an ankle strain. And Ethan Bonner, another guy who's one of the 2 holdovers from last year, is still out. So that's 4 corners that are out with Benito Jones. They're also missing offensive linemen. I mean, hell, they're missing your right tackle, Austin Jackson. He's out on IR. They're also missing their right guard, James Daniels. He got hurt in training camp. He's still out. And they're missing Liam Eichenberger, last year's starting guard. He's out. So you're missing 3 offensive linemen. You're missing 4 corners. You're missing Benito Jones. And then Melifanu, your starting safety, has a soft tissue issue late in the game against the Patriots. We don't know if he's going to play. That's a lot of injuries, man. And over here for Buffalo, they got some injuries too on a short week. Remember, Ed Oliver is their best interior guy. He won that game by that strip fumble against Derrick Henry. Ed Oliver's playing his ass off. He is still out with an ankle. Matt Milano, starting linebacker who played very well against the Jets, he didn't come and play in the second half. We're worried about his arm. I don't know, and I don't think he's going to play. It doesn't sound good. And Taron Johnson, one of the best nickel corners in the league, he didn't play last week against the Jets. Don't know if he's going to play against the Dolphins either. And Cam Lewis, Johnson's backup, is on the injury report, number 39. You better check on that. We've already said Milano's out, right, Jake? Well, his backup, Shaq Thompson, is still out, the former Carolina Panther. So there's a lot to unpack here with the injuries. Make sure you look into these on a short week. And lastly, know this. Both teams have their starting kickers on IR. The Dolphins have Jason Sanders on IR. They're using Riley Patterson. Have you heard of him, Jake? Nope. Well, he was in Detroit, Jacksonville, Cleveland, the Jets, and the Falcons. But he's 2 for 2 on field goals, 3 for 3 on PATs. Every time Riley Patterson runs out there, remember, he's new here, right? That could be an issue if it's a pressure kick. And over here, this is a great story. Tyler Bass hit a 61-yarder to put the Bills on top and win last year against Miami. He's on IR. So the Bills have Matt Prater, probably my favorite kicker in the league. I think he's 56 years old, the same age as me, only I'm older. But Matt Prater, he's 6 for 6 on field goals, 2 for 2 on PATs. Last week against the Jets, he nailed a 52-yarder, man. And that was his 83rd field goal of over 50 yards. Can you imagine that, Jake? Prater showed up to the Bills. They tell me he's walking down the hall to the meetings, and the players are like, "Hey, coach, how you doing?" They thought he was a coach because he looks older, you see. But Prater's a great story. Keep an eye on that tonight. Let's make a game out of this. Let's have a fist fight. Let's have a big game. Let's get into the matchups. Okay, the Bills offense against the Miami Dolphins defense. It sounds like a lopsided affair. I know we've talked about the Bills before, and you might be saying, I know all about the Bills. Every game is different. Let's focus on the game plan, everybody. Joe Brady, excellent offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills, has this outfit humming. In 2 games, they're number 2 in the league in scoring, number 1 in the league in total offense, 2nd in rushing, 4th in passing, and they haven't turned the ball over yet. Excellent start by the Bills. What I love about them is they have superb efficiency. No sacks, no blown assignments, no busts, man. These guys are playing good. They take care of the ball. They haven't turned it over. And they're balanced, man. 50-50 run-pass ratio. They can really ram it down your throat, or they can throw it with the best of them. And that's hard to defend. They have a lot of production, man. They can really do a good job in their 2-minute offense, and they sustain drives by converting on 3rd down. Josh Allen has been the quarterback this year for 20 series, excluding those kneel-down bullshit possessions. 20 possessions, they scored points on 14 of those. 8 touchdowns, 6 field goals. That's efficient. And the ball distribution's great. They've already got 8 different receivers with 2 or more catches. So when you think about that, that's a lot to defend if you're the Miami Dolphins on a short week. It all starts and ends with their MVP quarterback Josh Allen. We know about his physical and mental toughness and his skill level, but what it is it's his versatility, how he can beat you. If he has to, he'll throw it every play and bring his team down the field like he did against the Ravens. He passed for 394 yards. We can put the entire game on his shoulder. He'll carry it 14 times and score 2 touchdowns like he did against the Ravens. If we have to, we will cut the big fella loose. And when they do, it's really fun and it's hard to stop. Or they can play a more conventional style. Get underneath the center, put James Cook in the tailback position. They'll run the same play 5 straight times like they did last week against the Jets. And they will take great pride in mauling you and physically kicking your ass. So they have a lot of different ways they can beat you with the maul ball or the Josh Allen drop back and haul it ball. It's a lot of fun to watch. Knock on a grease board if you're with me. I really believe the secret sauce for the Buffalo Bills is their offensive line. They're talented. Their left tackle, Deion Dawkins, is perhaps the best left tackle in the game. Preston Brown, their right tackle's outstanding. He's massive. They're really good inside, and they've had a lot of continuity. This group played 80% of the snaps together last year. That's as much or more than everybody in football. So they have a lot of talent and continuity on the line. They're excellent pass protectors. They're physical, and they're athletic. I mean, you see Dawkins pull, you see the right tackle pull. They can run trap plays, wham plays. They can run all kind of screens. And they have a very good offensive line coach. Nobody gives the line coaches any credit unless there's a sack. Aaron Cromer, offensive line coach of the Buffalo Bills, gives them one of the top O-line coaches in football. They also have a great running back. James Cook's, he's a mofo, man. He is really something. I mean, that run he made last week, you'd fall out of your chair. How do you do that? This guy's really good catching the ball, running the ball, and playing football. This guy's something else. And they have a rotation of backs. They use Ty Johnson. They use Ray Davis. They have a complementary group of backs that really help them run the ball. You know, I've seen a lot in my day, Jake. I've seen a really good offensive line make that guy a good back. And I've seen a really good back make that offensive line a lot better than they really are. Now, what you're seeing is a really good line and a really good back and a really good coach. That's the Jets. Fucking hey, man, I want to go home. I want my mommy. That's what I felt like watching the Jets last week. This is an unselfish football team. If you're listening to me out there, the number 1 offense in the world right now is Buffalo because they can use a lot of different guys. Nobody has, I got to have the ball. Give me the ball attitude. Man, they're throwing it to a ton of different receivers, 3 different tight ends, 3 different backs. They just want to win and take care of the ball. They're all competing for playing time. You know, when I was coaching, it was fun. We had 3 good tight ends. We had 3 or 4 really good receivers. We had a couple really good backs. Well, I used to tell the players, what personnel should I use this week? Should I use 11 personnel? What's 11 personnel, Jake?
1 back, 1 tight end.
Should I use that or should I use 12, Clay? What's that?
1 back, 2 tight ends.
What if I use 21? What's that, Jake?
2 backs, 1 tight end.
What tight end? How about 13 personnel? What would that mean to you, Clay?
1 back, 3 tight ends.
Well, Buffalo has all these personnel groupings. So I used to ask our players, which personnel grouping should I use, man? Why don't you guys show me on the practice field? So when we practice these plays out of 11 personnel, you receivers better be kicking ass, yes? Because when I go to 13 personnel, bring in the tight ends, they better look good or I'll never call them. But I feel like that's what's happened in Buffalo. These players are dying to get on the field and show the coaches and show the fans how good they are. God, it's awesome, all the groups that they can play with. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Okay, good. I love that. And then, you know what's the best part of Buffalo's offense? Ask me, Jake.
What is it?
The unscripted plays. I mean, when number 17 drops back to pass, let's just say there is nobody open. Let's just say there isn't great protection. Guess what? He gets out of here, he gets out of there, he runs it there, or he throws it over there, and you're like, God dang, that guy's awesome. This guy, Josh Allen, the MVP, he makes great plays and great decisions when it's Josh Allen time. Shit breaks down, something bad happens, he can escape and create with the best of them. The one thing I think we must point out again this week, we said it last week about Daniels, the quarterback of the Washington Commanders. What did I say, Jake?
Can't get hit.
Do not get hit. And now, Daniels, he's over there. He's hurting his knee a little bit. We got to avoid the hits. I worry about Daniels. Justin Fields got hurt. The great Joe Burrow got hurt. McCarthy got hurt. When you got the ball, they're coming for you, whether you're in the pocket or outside the pocket. That's why I don't like when Josh Allen runs those quarterback counters and gets hit by 7 guys. I worry about the MVP, you see, because that's the reason I love watching the Bills more than any other team in the league. On the defensive side of the ball, Anthony Weaver of the Dolphins is the defensive coordinator. Right now, they're 31st in the league in scoring defense, 26th in total, 25th against the run, and 22nd against the pass. That doesn't sound good, does it? It isn't good. But you know they play a 3-4 base defense. We went over this on Gruden's glossary. What does 3-4 mean, Clay?
3 down linemen, 4 linebackers.
Yes, and how many DBs?
4.
You guys are really great. You guys are great studies. But what the Dolphins have to do is they got to start faster, man. They got to get some confidence. I mean, hell, they don't start fast. Last week against New England, the Patriots scored on 3 straight possessions to start the game. And then in Indianapolis scored on 7 straight possessions every time they had the ball. So you come over on the sidelines, you're like, shit, damn. They got to start fast, man. They got to get some momentum. They got to get some juice on that sideline. They got to pick up their effort, if you ask me. They got to pick up their intensity. I don't feel the savage chase to the ball. I don't feel it. I just don't feel it. I see it from one guy here and one guy there, but I don't feel a collection of wolves attacking the football. It's got to get better, man. The Dolphins need the speech I gave to our team long time ago. The 4 E's. That's what Miami needs. Effort, execution, enthusiasm, and intensity. You got to have the 4 E's. That's what Miami's got to pick up. They got to pick it up. Knock on a grease board if you're with me. They got to be ready for the physical part of this game, maul ball. They got to have their big boys inside ready to play. And I'm talking about Jordan Phillips. I'm talking about the rookie, Grant, number 90. If they're not ready, if they don't get their pads down, they're in deep trouble. Their pad level's not been good. They got to have a pass defensive meeting and start shutting down the forward pass. I mean, in the first 2 games, Daniel Jones and Drake May, think of this, are 41 out of 52. They're completing almost 80% of their passes, well over 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, the pass defense, it's not on the corners, it's not on the safeties, it's on the linebackers too, and it's also on the pass rush. It's the underneath coverage, it's the tackling after the catch, we got to bat a ball, we got to improve our pass defense big time. We also got to get pressure on the quarterback. I look at Miami on defense and I start getting excited because I'm expecting to see Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips. They got Chop Robinson. Hell, Judon is out there. That former Baltimore Raven guy, pain in the ass. And inside, they got Zach Sealer, number 92. He's had over 10 sacks 2 different seasons from the inside. That's hard to do. And they got Kenneth Grant, number 90, first-round pick out of Michigan. What else do you need? I'm expecting to see a lot more heat on the quarterback. They got to stop the run. And this pass rush, this money group of pass rushers has to ruin this game for the Buffalo Bills. They got to really play their best game ever against this potent offensive line of the Bills. They have 2 experienced inside linebackers that have to play better as well. Brooks, number 20, Dodson, number 25. They have moments where they look great, and then there's moments where it's not so great. Brooks last week, he gets a sack. He beats Henderson of the Patriots on a blitz. He gets a sack. Yeah! But then he gets beat on a choice takeoff by Stevenson for a 60-yard gain. And as much as I like Dodson, he makes 9 or 10 tackles, but I feel like he's struggling a little bit in his underneath pass coverage. I feel like he's missing some tackles he normally makes. Those 2 guys got to step up. But what really has to happen is this whole group has to step up, including their secondary. Now, they got a ton of new guys playing at corner, and they've got some new safeties that came from other teams. So it's been a very difficult process for Anthony Weaver to get this group together. But when I look at the secondary, I mean, they got 2 new corners that just got here in August because of the injuries. And Minkah Fitzpatrick, who came over in the Jalen Ramsey trade, hell, I'm still waiting on Minkah Fitzpatrick to show me he's in Miami. I used to love watching his tape, but it's not been good enough by anybody on any level yet. D-line, linebacker, secondary, and this crowd's got to pick it up. Now let's look at the individual matchups. Offensive line of the Buffalo Bills. If you're a Bills fan or a football fan, you got to know who Deion Dawkins is. 73. He's a badass, man. He'll lock you out in one-on-one pass protection. They'll pull him to the other side of the formation. Very athletic, highly detailed. At left guard is 76, David Edwards. The center, 66, Connor McGovern. At right guard, watch this guy, Osiris Torrance, formerly of the Florida Gators. He'll maul you. And at right tackle, good God, Spencer Brown. I think he's 6'8", number 79. These guys are mammoth, and these guys are well trained. All 5 of them are playing together again this year. They played over 78% of the plays together last year. A lot of continuity. And their matchups against Miami are very interesting. Inside, the Dolphins lost Benito Jones, their nose tackle. He's out. So now it's going to be Jordan Phillips, number 94. He has not played well as a Miami Dolphin. He's played high. He's been knocked off the ball. His playing stamina hasn't been great. I worry about him. They might use number 93, a rookie 7th-round pick out of Georgia Tech. Keep an eye on this guy, Zeke Biggers. Can you imagine Zeke Biggers coming in there as a 7th-round pick on a short week and you line up against the Buffalo Bills? Get your pads down and fight him, man. That's what's got to happen. The defensive tackle, everybody knows Zach Sealer, number 92. You'll see him, big old guy. He used to kick our ass. We used to look at Sealer and I'd say, son of a bitch, we got to play against that guy. He hasn't done much this year. I think what's happening is the center, he sees Sealer over there. We're going this way. We're going to double his ass because the other defensive tackle, this rookie, Kenneth Grant, I haven't seen him do anything yet. And he was my favorite guy in the draft. I haven't felt Grant yet. Not in the run game, not in the passing game. I saw him run down a guy against Penn State 30 yards down the field. His effort was awesome. I haven't seen that yet. And I'm telling you, if he doesn't pick it up, it's going to be a real problem for this defense moving forward. Sorry to be critical, but I just haven't felt my guy yet. Come on, Grant, let's go, man. The other guy that they're going to use inside is number 91, Matthew Butler. And I feel like Butler and 94 Phillips, those are 2 veteran players. They have got to get excited about stopping the run, man, and giving their linebackers some help, free them up to make some tackles. The edge rushers for Miami, Bradley Chubb. He wears number 2. Former Bronco, had a bad injury last year, missed the season. He's got 2 sacks right now. One of those sacks was against the Patriots. Nobody blocked him. They got to get more out of Chubb. The other guy's Phillips, number 15. Here's a guy that had an Achilles injury in 23, a knee injury in 24. He's just now coming back into form. Come on, Phillips and Chubb. This guy had 22 sacks, Phillips, in his first 42 games, man. But he had these injuries, you see. I'm hoping Chubb and Phillips have these first couple games behind them, and hopefully they're ready to take off. And their backups, number 44, Chop Robinson. He was a Gruden grinder last year. Come on, Chop. He had 6 sacks, 56 pressures. Right now, I'm not feeling the wrath of Chop Robinson either. He hasn't been flying to the ball. I haven't seen him really take off and become all he can become yet. Come on, man. And they brought in Judon, number 8. He was with the Falcons last year. You'll see him. He wears these orange sleeves. I don't like those sleeves much, but he wears them. You'll see him. He's got to give this young team some energy. You know, last year, Calais Campbell played for the Dolphins. He was a D lineman from the Miami Hurricanes. He was a coach on the field. Behind the scenes, he was a great motivator. They need Judon to step into that role and stick his foot up everybody's ass and get the Dolphins front going. On the edge, let's take a look at the edge. Should we, Jake? Yeah. The matchups for Buffalo are interesting. They have Joshua Palmer, ex-LA Charger number 5 at 1 wide receiver position. What a job he's done. He's made plays down the field, another unselfish, good size, good speed receiver. And over here they've got Keon Coleman, an emerging star, number 0. I love him. He played great against the Baltimore Ravens, over 100 yards. And in the slot, Khalil Shakir is one of the great yards after the catch receivers that we have. He dominates on these quick screens. He has unbelievable short area quickness and elusiveness, and a quarterback is very comfortable in him. And they're backing him up with number 18, Elijah Moore, another really good player. And they use all these receivers. Hell's bells. Well, for the Miami Dolphins, their left corner, who's going to be on the offensive right, is Jack Jones, the ex-Raider, the ex-Patriot. Jones got beat for a touchdown on a 50-50 ball. He's not the biggest corner in the league. And those 50-50 size receivers can give him problems. The other thing that's an issue with Jones is his tackling with that size. I expect Buffalo to run some of their duo schemes and let Cook bounce it to the outside and make number 23 tackle. Are you with me, Clay? You know, you got to do the things you don't like to do so we can do the things we like to do. Are you with me, Jake? Yeah. Corner's got to tackle, and that's big for Jones. The other corner is the ex-Buffalo Bill, Rasul Douglas. Douglas, hell, I know Douglas. He's a great guy. He's a hell of a player for Buffalo for a few seasons. He's just working out at home. He gets a call from Miami on August 27th, and now he wears number 26, and he's going to start at right corner. And he's going to see Keon Coleman. That should be very interesting. Douglas is tough. I think Josh Allen knows Douglas likes to jump patterns, look for a double move at somewhere in this game. And when it happens, you can say, I saw that on a YouTube somewhere. In the slot, my biggest concern for Miami is who's their nickel. I do not know much about Jason Marshall, 5th round pick out of Florida. He wears number 33. Sometimes I see 29, Minkah Fitzpatrick, in their big nickel package. I would love to see Minkah go in there as the nickel and play like a savage and get his hands on the ball, get around the briar patch, and make his presence felt. Right now we have a young rookie at nickel. We got a guy that just got here at right corner, and we got a guy that just got here at left corner. Doesn't sound good, does it? At the safety positions, you're going to see number 29, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Now, Fitzpatrick was a Dolphin, went to the Steelers in a trade, then got traded back to Miami. When I watch Fitzpatrick this year, the only thing that amazes me is his shoes. He had these bright orange shoes in the first half last week, and he had these bright green shoes in the second half last week. And I'm thinking about the shoes now. I need some big-time, prime-time playmaking from this guy, or we got no chance moving forward. The other safety was Melifonwu. He came over from Detroit, but Melifonwu got hurt last week late in the game, so they brought in this rookie, Dante Trader, wearing number 11. He's from Maryland. Trader has the orange shoes too. You know, I don't like all these different shoes. I wish everybody would wear the same shoes at the same time. Anyways, Trader is interesting. We don't know much about him or Marshall. But the big matchup that presents themselves are these 3 tight ends for the Buffalo Bills. Everybody knows Dalton Kincaid, 1st round pick out of Utah, very good receiver. Dawson Knox, number 88, another high pick, good receiver. It's this other guy. It's this 5th round pick, Jackson Hawes out of Georgia Tech. These tight ends, let me tell you something. I said it earlier. They want to play. They come in there in 13 personnel, and they kicked ass last week in the running game. They can run down the seams. They've all contributed in the passing game. This is a very good group of tight ends. And if Aaron Cromer wants to use Alec Anderson, number 70, an offensive tackle, as a big tight end, that is in their wheelhouse as well. So they can use their big boy shoulder pads with the tight ends, or they could deploy all these receivers and get after your ass. But it's going to come down to how do we stop James Cook. James Cook is a great back. You can see why the Bills gave him this contract. I mean, this guy runs between the tackles. And here's what I like everybody listening at home. Cook is in the I formation, 8 yards deep, 7 3/4 yards deep, and Josh Allen is under the center. They accommodate Cook. 80% of his rushes last week, Allen was under the center. None of this shotgun crap where they put it in his chest and pull it out of there and run away. No. Get your butt back there. I'll get it to you deep. And he creates his force as he gets going to the line of scrimmage. And that gives him some depth to read his cuts. And the one thing about Cook, it's his vision, I think, that separates him. If there's a little crack over here, whoa, he sees it. He sees that shit. You don't have to say, hey, man, you should have bounced that outside, or hey, you should have cut it back. This guy is a great back. And he has a backup. I love this Ray Davis, number 22. I swear, if I was coaching on another team, I would call Buffalo and try to trade for his ass. He is a physical, badass back. And Ty Johnson, 26, watch him pick up some blitzes and catch the football in a 2-minute drill and on third down. Hell of a offensive attack against the defense that needs to start attacking and playing together and make this an exciting 4-quarter game. Okay, the Dolphins offense and the Buffalo Bills defense has some interesting things to look into. The Dolphins have struggled, we know that. They're 26th in scoring right now, 23rd in total offense, 29th in rushing offense, and 15th throwing it. They've given it away 4 times. Not good. Got to get better. The Buffalo Bills, okay, forget about that first game against Baltimore for a second. They made a great response last week against the Jets. The thing you love about Sean McDermott, their head coach, he and defensive coordinator Bobby Babich, I'm sure they went in there and said some things to the defense and meant what they said. And I'm sure the defensive players liked hearing it because they went out against the Jets and they applied what they learned from the Baltimore game against the Jets. They kicked New York's ass. I mean, the Jets had 154 yards of offense, and most of it was in garbage time. I mean, I think they had 15 yards in their first 3 possessions. It was 30-3, and I left, and I went to Hooters. The Jets were 0 for 11 on third down last week. That's a lot of exercise for your punter. Very good performance on the road. It was noticeable effort, noticeable pursuit to the ball, and noticeable improvement in every phase of their defense. The Jets ran 47 plays. 10 of their plays got 0. 5 of their plays had negative yardage, and 1 of their positive plays, the guy lost the ball. He fumbled it. The communication, I think, on this defense is a big concern. With Milano's injury and Teron Johnson's injury at the nickel position, that can strip your communication down pretty good. And they're dangerously thin at the nickel position and at linebacker, in my opinion. If something were to happen to Bernard, their signal caller and their captain on defense, number 8, there could be some issues with communicating this system. The Bills have got to really continue to emphasize stopping the run. They've tried to use more of a base defense this year than their nickel defense. And now with the shortage of linebackers, that could be a problem. But they've got to get these young defensive linemen going. They drafted a couple guys that are playing a lot. They already have Daquan Jones, a veteran, number 92, but now you're going to see a rookie, number 96, big rookie from Kentucky. His name is Walker. He's got to play better. He's got to get his pads down. They also drafted T.J. Sanders in the 2nd round from South Carolina, but Sanders and Walker have got to play better with better pad level and stamina because Ed Oliver, their great defensive tackle, is still out. They got to take advantage, I think, of the young left side of this Dolphin offensive line. Patrick Paul, 2nd-year player out of Houston, is playing left tackle. He's had some lapses, man. And they have a rookie from Arizona, number 72, playing left guard. So these stunts, man, they're a problem. And I expect Joey Bosa, number 97, to really have a big day. Bosa is a great story so far in pro football. This looks like the Bosa that kicked my ass when he was with the Chargers. I mean, he looks like he's 2018 again. He's got that inside move, and he's got that get-off that's really impressive. I think they got to put a power player over here on the Dolphins' right guard. There's a new right guard, Smith, number 71. He's from Fayetteville College. I never even knew they had a football team there, but he is an athletic right guard, but he's young and he's light. and I expect Daquan Jones to go over there and give them some problems. They got to deal with the quick passing game. If you're Buffalo, know this, Tua's going to get the ball out quick. Nobody got it out quicker than he did last year. He knows the limitations they have. There's going to be a lot of quick screens, a lot of gimmick plays they got to be ready for. Buffalo will play a ton of split safety coverage. They're going to try to rotate and double Tyreek Hill. They're going to try to rotate and cloud Jalen Waddle as well. They don't want Waddle and Tyreek Hill to ruin this game. Very important. And on third down, this is where Buffalo has to tee off with their blitz package, which we'll talk about in just a second. The Miami Dolphin offense, Mike McDaniel calls the plays. The first thing they have to do is they got to deal with the noise. They got to eliminate the pre-snap penalties and the confusion, and they got to communicate better. Like when that DB got on the line of scrimmage against the Colts, he just came off the edge and crushed the quarterback. We got to see that. Hey, Bang L, get out there, man. He comes over there, bang R. They got to communicate better and quit jumping off sides on offense. My opinion, of course, doesn't mean much. They got to play physical football and run the ball at Buffalo. They got a couple young defensive linemen fresh out of college. Boom! We got to run the ball at these guys. And I'm not talking about gimmick runs, Jake. I'm talking about old gap schemes, power off tackles. Run the ball, ram it at these guys. Use your two tight ends. You don't throw the ball to these guys. Hell, I haven't seen Hill 89 or Connor number 80 do anything in a passing game. They've combined for 2 catches. Use them. Block the edges. Use Alec Ingold, Pro Bowl fullback. Hell, he was with me with the Raiders. Slam it in there because when Miami runs the ball, they run it well. They've got a hell of a back. His name is Achane. I love him. If I walk out of this stadium and don't give it to Achane and let him touch it 20 times, I want you to throw me in the dumpster. That's what I would tell you, Jake. Throw me in the dumpster, man. Get this guy the ball. I saw Derrick Henry run for 240 yards 2 weeks ago. And I really believe they can run the ball, and they got to run it to win. You like that, Jake? The best way to stop Josh Allen is keep his ass on the sidelines. Get some long drives. Get some 6 or 7 minute drives. Possess the ball. And the best way to do that and the best way to take pressure off your young offensive line is running the ball, turning this into an old school fist fight. Hell, let's get excited about a 3-yard run. It's 2nd and 7. Whoa, another 3-yard run. It's 3rd and 4. Another 3-yard run. We're going to go for it, and we'll ram it in there and run some clock. You love football, Jake?
Oh, yeah.
They got to run the ball. They got to see if they can make Buffalo play a base defense. 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 4 DBs. Clay, you got me? Because I saw the Buffalo Bills playing a base defense, something they don't do much against Baltimore. And there's a lot of times where guys are turning around, making sure you got that gap, I got this gap, ball snap, boom. There's some confusion. I would want to see that if I was Miami. Make these rookie defensive tackles play big boy football. Let's see if they've got their pad level down. And let's challenge our rookie left guard, our veteran center Brewer, our young right guard. Hey, come off the ball, let's go. I think that's what they have to do to win this game and keep it close. We all know Tyreek Hill and Waddle. Everybody talks about it. Every show I pick up, it's Hill and Waddle, and they got their stats. Here you go. In 2022 and 2023, here it is for you, Jake. Tyreek Hill averaged 7.2 catches and 106 yards a game in 2022 and 23. And then Waddle had 4.9 catches and 74 yards a game. So these two guys were averaging 12 catches a game for almost 180 yards a game combined. But in the last 2 years, Tyreek's only averaging 4.8 catches a game, just 53 yards a game. And Waddle, hell, he's only getting 3.9 and 49 yards a game. And I say this to you, who gives a shit? They haven't gone to the Super Bowl or won a playoff game whether they're throwing it or not. This is not 7-on-7. This is not a fantasy football game. The Miami Dolphins, they got to get the ball to Achane, make them stop the run. And when they start sinking into some loaded fronts, I promise you, Tyreek Hill and Waddle will kill you. But Buffalo is going to play cover 2. They're going to force you to be patient, and Miami's going to have to do that. Tyreek Hill has played against Buffalo 9 times, Jake. And in 9 games, he averages 52 yards a game. He's only gone over 80 yards once. So I don't think Miami should force feed the ball to Hill just so everybody's happy. They got to please themselves by winning this game. Got to help the offensive line. Right tackle, Austin Jackson, out. Right guard, James Daniels, still out. Offensive guard, Leon Eichenberg, started last year, is out. They got to help this young offensive line. Must do that. Let's take a look at the matchups. Again, the offensive line of Miami, very inexperienced. At left tackle, 52, Patrick Paul. And Jonah Savainaya from Arizona. I'm hoping I said that right. He's a rookie. He has had good moments, but he's also struggled at times. The veteran Aaron Brewer is the center. And Smith, number 71, a young, inexperienced right guard, is playing next to Larry Borum, who's a backup right tackle. Borum played 4 years in Chicago, was a part-time starter out of Missouri, number 79. They got a lot of backup young players. Remember last year when the Dolphins played Buffalo, the left tackle was Armstead. The left guard was Robert Jones. He's in Dallas. The right guard was Eichenberger, and the right tackle was Jackson. So the only guy playing right now for Miami is Aaron Brewer. Got to help this crowd. And on defense, you better deal with Bosa. He's going to play right end. He's going to see this Patrick Paul kid. And Bosa has one of the great inside moves you will see. And if you think you're going to use a tight end to pass protect them, go have your head examined. Ask the Jets. They had their rookie tight end from LSU try to pass protect against Bosa. Hello, man. Joey Bosa's back. He's forced 3 fumbles. His factor grade. What is a factor grade? Ask me, Clay.
What's a factor grade?
Well, it's all the things Bosa does to screw up a game. He'll bat a ball down, tackle for loss. I mean, he'll make some really great pursuit plays. He does a lot of different things. He causes penalties. His factor grade is awesome. Walker and DQ Jones are the 2 defensive tackles. Remember, Walker is a rookie. 96 is a run defender. And when he comes in the game, that's why he's there. He's not a great pass rusher. Sanders, number 98, the other rookie, he's more of the pass rusher. But they do have, I think, some stamina issues. If you can sustain some drives, you can wear these guys down, Jake. You got me? Because Ed Oliver, their best player inside, is out. He ain't playing for this game. The guy I am waiting on is Greg Rousseau. He's one of my top 7 or 8 favorites at the defensive end position because he does it all, man. He stops a run. He rushes a passer. He's only got 0.5 sacks. But I'm looking for more impact from Rousseau on Thursday night. On the outside, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, well-known receivers. But keep an eye on Malik Washington, number 6. He runs a lot of those gadget jet sweeps. Hell, they lined him up at running back and handed him the ball 2 or 3 times. They might bring him out of the backfield. Very important that these linebackers are very conscious of number 6 when he comes into the backfield. But who's got Waddle over here on the left? It's going to be right corner Tre'Davious White. He came back last week. He was hurt in training camp, missed the opener against the Ravens. They relied on Dorian Strong, a 6th-round pick, number 43 out of Virginia Tech. But White played the first half. They took him out to get him some rest and let the young guys play in garbage time last week. But the veteran White is a welcome return. On the other side is one of my favorite Buffalo Bills, Christian Benford, number 47. Yeah, he got beat for a touchdown by Hopkins, but how many guys make that catch? Benford, 47, I think he leads the Bills in tackles. This guy is a freaking great player, man. You know, last year, they only targeted him 11% of the time. That means, holy shit, don't throw at that guy. And when they did throw it at him, they only averaged 5.3 yards a target. That's second in the NFL. So when you do throw it over there and you do catch it, you're going down. Benford is good. They welcome White home. And in nickel, everybody make a note of the nickel position. Taron Johnson, number 7, he didn't play last week. Don't know if he's going to play on a short week. And his backup, number 39, Cam Lewis, who played college football at Buffalo, a hell of a player. Normally a dime linebacker, he was the nickel last week, but he was on the injury report, so keep an eye on that. That is huge for Buffalo. The D-line of Buffalo against this young O-line of the Dolphins is very interesting. So is the linebacking position with the injury of Matt Milano. Number 58 of the Bills, Milano, got hurt last week. He is out. So I think Dorian Williams, number 42, who had 100-plus tackles last year, will replace him. But depth is an issue. Bernard, number 8, over 100 tackles the last 2 years, is their signal caller. These two backs are outstanding, and I think the game is going to come down to how do we stop Achane, number 28. This guy is magnificent. They're going to throw him the ball. They're going to hand him the ball. They're going to use him as a diversion. They got to stop Achane, and these two linebackers in this nickel corner will be a big part of the underneath passing game. The tight end position for the Dolphins, I have no idea what they're doing there. Last year they had Jonnu Smith. He caught 88 passes. He became their number one guy. They traded him to Pittsburgh. They brought in my old friend Darren Waller. Remember, we were just listening to his new music the other day. He's hurt. He hasn't played in the preseason. He's not playing in this game. So they go from all this production, Jonnu Smith, to the excitement of Darren Waller, to playing with two guys they never use. I mean, they got some guy from Campbell College. I don't know much about Julian Hill. He's got no catches. And then they got Tanner Connor. He's got 2 catches for 20 yards. Both of these tight ends, to me, we got to get them involved in some capacity and let them block for Achane. Let's hand the ball off. The 2 safeties for the Buffalo Bills are Taylor Rapp, number 9, and Cole Bishop, number 24. Bishop had a sack last week, his first in the NFL, former second-round pick out of Utah. I love the mission statement that they put on tape. Yeah, the safeties, think about it. When they're back, you're back. Don't give up big plays. Make some one-on-one open field tackles. Go sideline to sideline and showcase your range. But the one thing that the 2 Buffalo Bills safety did last week is they got the message from Coach McDermott. They shed blocks and they made tackles. You know, they did a good job of capping off. Like that guy's wiggling for yards. Kapow! Knock his ass off, man. They did a great job attacking piles, man. They had a different look in their eye. I saw on the sidelines, I could see Taylor Rapp. He's like, he had a different look, man. And I tell you what, their playing style was different last week. It was much improved. I like that a lot. Buffalo has some injuries. Miami has some injuries. Short week, big rivalry. Only the strong will survive. Let's go. You know, the Buffalo Bills, they get you in third down. If they can stop the run and force Tua in some long yardage passing situation, they've been showing this 3-down look. They put Daquan Jones on the center, and they put Bosa on one corner with Rousseau. 3 down linemen and 3 linebackers. Terrell Bernard, look for it tonight. He's right over the guard on the line of scrimmage. So is Williams, 42. They cover everybody, 3 down linemen and 2 linebackers, and then they use their 3rd linebacker. If it's not Milano, number 58, it could be Joe Andreessen, number 44, but they get into this 3 down, 3 linebacker package, and then they stunt dog you. You'll see Williams go flying into that A gap. You'll see Jones go into the opposite B gap. And then right around the corner comes Bernard, and it's a hard switch for the center and the 2 guards. And you still got Bosa one-on-one, and you got Rousseau. Whew, it's a problem. 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers. Look for that in 2-minute and passing situations. The other thing we talked about last week was the Predator with Vic Fangio. Well, I'll tell you, Buffalo Bills got a sack with Cam Lewis last week against the Jets. It looks like it's cover 2. Hey, it's cover 2, Jake. It's cover 2. It's cover 2. Bullshit. Here comes the Predator off the edge. And they spike the tackle in the opposite A gap. He crosses face. The 3 technique loops and contains. And it just turns into a 3-deep zone. Knock on wood if you're with me, Jake. You like that? The Predator. Keep an eye on this nickel blitz. Tua got hit in the head twice against the Colts on the same pressure. And then lastly, the overload blitzes are coming to a theater near you, Miami. The Miami Dolphins got to be ready for 4-man overloads. If you see A two-deep safety look normally is set the center to the strength of the formation. But what happened last week is Buffalo, they brought 4 guys to one side. And the freaking Jets only had 3 blockers. And what did our safety, Cole Bishop, do? Sack! So don't think for a second that Sean McDermott is just going to stand around and play cover 2. You got to be ready for the 3-down package, the nail predators, and you better be ready for 4 weak and 4 strong. Let's go play. I just love thinking about rivalries. Last week it was the Chargers and the Raiders. This week it's the Dolphins and the Bills. And I think the Dolphins have every reason to put it all together. But there's no freaking way I would go against the Bills at home. Buffalo 31, Miami 20. What do we got here, Jake?
So we took some questions for tonight's game on Twitter, so we're going to put a few on the TV and see what you think.
What's it like being a big favorite for a game? Do you know going in? Well, the first thing you got to explain to everybody, there are no favorites in the NFL. If you're not ready to play in this league, you get your ass kicked. So I always try to make a big deal of that. We're not Nebraska playing Houston Christian here. We're not Florida State playing East Texas A&M. We're playing the Miami Dolphins, our arch rival. So I'll probably show 8 or 9 clips from last year's game where Miami came to Buffalo and kicked our ass. We were lucky to beat them. We used a 61-yard field goal. So we don't take anything for granted, nothing. We got to have a healthy respect for that. But what I think is important is the first 5 minutes of the game, the first 8 minutes of this game. We got to set a tone. We got to jump on them, get our crowd in the game, and get everybody on the same page. How we start this game is really important. We want them to think, oh God, we're behind again, and we want them to have that feeling by jumping on them early, but got to have a healthy respect in this league.
So this is from Jennifer Aniston. She doesn't have a question.
Wait a second, what?
Jennifer Aniston replied and said she just wanted to say your hair's been looking pretty good.
I'm blushing.
Next guy here has a question about preparation on a short week. So what are you focusing on the most with 3 days to prepare for this opponent?
What we have done probably is a lot of this game plan is in the off season and during training camp. We probably went through our game plan in week 3 or week 4 of training camp because we know the Dolphins, we know they know us. So I think we're going to do a little bit more than they think. We have a lot of ways to attack. We might even use a no-huddle offense to try to strip down their communication. But we're definitely going to open it up and stay true to our form offensively and defensively. But I think a lot of the hay is in the barn. A lot of the preparation was done during training camp for this game.
So can I just say you've been looking very handsome lately, Coach. I believe that's from Halle Berry.
Holy smokes, man. Jennifer Aniston and Halle Berry?
So this question's from Luca. From an NFL coach perspective, how do you feel about the Dolphins having their player-led meeting?
Well, they better have had a meeting because they're not playing very good. And the effort's not good enough. You can blame the coaches all you want. Sometimes the players need to have a players-only meeting where they can clear the air and say some things that maybe is just for the players. I don't like having these, especially after 1 week. But after the way they lost in an opening game to the Colts, they needed something to be said. Now, what are they going to do? That's what I want to see. You know, can you have a meeting and take something positive out of this meeting and galvanize us? Or are you going to use it as a negative dartboard for bullshit? I'm anxious to see how Miami uses this team meeting in a positive manner. I remember some players-only meetings when I was a coach, and it can be uncomfortable if you look at it that way, but it can also be a really good thing. The Dolphins have a lot of new players that barely know each other. They got a lot of injuries, they got a lot of adversity. They might need a meeting to get on a personal level with one another.